Hello everybody, my name is The Strange Eli and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing something just a tiny bit different, and I'm just going to tell you a story about me, about my life. So as some of you may know and some of you might not know, I was a huge band geek. I was in band all the way from really before 4th grade. Actually, when I was living in Michigan, when I was just really young, like in 1st or 2nd grade, we even had a music class then that I was in, and we sang in it, and it was really cool. But then when I moved to Washington, I was in like 4th grade and I joined band, and of course at 4th grade the band is just like recorders, but then once we got into 5th grade, everyone could choose their own instruments to play, and it wasn't just a recorder. So I chose the clarinet, partially because of actually SpongeBob, and I just really liked the instrument. I thought it was cool looking and I wanted to play it, and I just, like, flutes are for girls, and like I didn't have any interest in playing trumpet, because I really wanted to play saxophone, but the thing that you had to play before you played saxophone was clarinet, so I played the clarinet, and I played the clarinet for years, and at this time we had a director named I think Mr. Veldkamp was his name, and he was awesome. He was like our dad, and so we had this like really awesome family dynamic, and like we all played really well. We were actually a really great band. We were like 4th or 3rd in our region. We were like really great. And then we got older and older, and finally Mr. Veldkamp had to leave, and so because Mr. Veldkamp had to leave, we had to get a new teacher, and so the new band director, his name was Mr. Bortman. The first day that we had Mr. Bortman, we all walked in and we all just sort of assumed that he was just another member of our band, and not a whole lot of us actually thought that he was our teacher, because he was very fresh out of college, but still had a baby face, so he just looked really young, and because he looked really young, we just assumed that he was in the band. But what was great about that, because like Mr. Veldkamp was like our dad, Mr. Bortman was like our brother, like our bigger, older brother, who was like, oh yeah, we can talk to him about video games, and we could talk to him about, what awesome movies are happening, and like he would swear, which was really cool for us in later in middle school and into high school, and he was like just super casual, which made everything really great. And at this and during his tenure as our band director, we actually managed to become the best band in the region. We, for a long time, Mr. Veldkamp would say, we're going to be the best band in the region, and we unfortunately weren't before he left, but at this point when we had Mr. Bortman, we had actually become the best band in our region, and it was a very emotional moment for all of us who had all grown up together through band, because it was like, here we are fulfilling the dream of our first band director, and it was really cool and really great. And he stayed on for like, I want to say like 3 or 4 years, and then when I was in junior year of high school, really excited for band. However, then we got news during the summer of my sophomore year that Mr. Bortman had left, and everyone was really sad about it, because he didn't say anything about leaving that, before the summer had begun. But we were excited to see what was going to be, who was our next band director going to be. Were they going to be super cool like Mr. Veldkamp and Mr. Bortman? And let me tell you, the answer is no. She was the worst teacher I'd ever had in my life. When she had come on, I was playing the bass clarinet, which is very similar to a regular clarinet, just longer and has a little, The first day that we had her, we already hated her. She was extremely unfunny. She didn't do anything to unify us in any sort of way. She was 100% against class parties, and Mr. Bortman was like 100% class party. Like we were all about like, hey, let's get together at the end of this day or after festival or, you know, whatever. It was always about throwing a party, which was awesome. It was great. But Miss Pyle was super against it. But like no one liked her, and she never listened to me because the problem with the bass clarinet is that there's not a whole lot of people who even know what it is, much less are really good at repairing it. And so when my bass clarinet would break, it would take a long time to get it fixed. And so there was a lot of times during during junior year where my bass clarinet was broken and I just straight up couldn't play. And like I was like, come on, I need it to be fixed. And she's like, well, I'm gonna send it out, and I'm gonna send it out this day, and blah blah blah. But it never would get sent out. And so, and it took so long. So, and at the end of my junior year, I was like, I'm not gonna go to band. I'm not doing band senior year. Like I immediately went from loving band. Band was my absolute number one favorite thing to do. It like made high school an enjoyable, livable experience. It went from that to my least favorite class, like just over summer. And like and this happened to everyone. Everyone hated her. Everyone hated the class. It was never fun. And so what we did, or what I did personally, was at the in between junior and senior year, I was thinking about quitting, but I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go through it. And so when I was like maybe a month into the next year, into my senior year, and I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do bass clarinet anymore because my instrument was breaking too often, and you know, the time having to wait and blah blah. So what I decided to do was like, okay, well, we have one percussionist, which is really rare. Even like how small our school was, it was mind-boggling that we only had one percussionist. But we only had one percussionist, and in the pieces where we had like 8 different percussion pieces, where it was like timpani and the gong and like all these sort of, and like bells and all these sort of things, no one could do it because there was only one guy. So for the most part, he just played snare or the bass drum. I was like, okay, Miss Pyle, I'm gonna give up the bass clarinet and I'm gonna go and help this dude with percussion because I drum at home. And so I was like, I can do this, I can keep a rhythm. And so when I did that for like 3 more months, like really up until like our first concert of the year, and it was so bad that, not me, but like our concert was so bad that people just like, after that first concert, they were like, the parents were giving their kids permission to drop from that class, and like it was real bad. And so I quit, and I kind of made it, and I almost made it into a scene. Like I kind of made it a little bit dramatic, but I quit that class. I was done with that class. Sorry to end it on that kind of down note, but if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If they bring back the rating system, go ahead and give it 5 stars, but we normally won't. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff that YouTubers normally tell you to do. Go in the comments and tell me about your band experience, or if you were in choir, because there was a little bit of rivalry between the band kids and the choir kids. And yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and tell me somehow. And subscribe, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.